The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Start it off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Welcome and good morning to you, Ecclesiastites and Liberty lovers all across the globe. It is I, your lovable host, Elrod, coming to you live this Wednesday, Hump Day, Wednesday morning, which is November number 8 in the year of our Lord 2017. It is the day after a finally, the Democrats get some rather significant wins during an election. However, you know, first of all, folks, do not, well, as the saying goes, let not your heart be troubled. And the reason is because either way this would have went, they would have spun it as a massive victory for the left. But this is an off-year election. These were all mostly minor elections. Sure, there was nothing went. The only thing that went probably close to expectation was the gubernatorial race in Virginia. And I know yesterday I said I didn't know of any gubernatorial races that were happening, but evidently there was one in New Jersey as well for Chris Christie's seat. I haven't been following Chris Christie in New Jersey. Who cares? But they're trying to make hay out of it that New Jersey's Chris Christie's lieutenant governor lost. Okay. Not a big loss there. In Virginia, it wasn't expected that Gillespie is his name. It wasn't expected that he was going to win anyway. There were some people pulling out hope, but let's face it. You Virginians, you guys, it's pretty much like what's happening here in New Hampshire. You Virginians, you conservative Virginians are outnumbered by the government employees that live in Northern Virginia. They're not really Virginians, by the way. But they live there, so they are, I guess, for election purposes. So none of this stuff, there were some things that caught my attention. That in Maine, they voted to expand Medicare, but Maine has just been an enigma state for years now anyway. They elect a brash conservative guy, and then they elect to vote to expand an Obamacare thing, which hopefully Obamacare is going to go away anyway. So I can't put my finger on. Maine is just one of those places that just wants to, well, they want to pretend that they're conservative, but they also want all the goodies that go along with being liberal. All the government free stuff, they think. And New Hampshire has made a mistake in its biggest city, Manchester. They elected a tax and spend Democrat over their incumbent, more conservative Republican sitting mayor. Well, they'll learn their lesson. one of the problems is that Manchester has seen an influx of, well, like much of southern New Hampshire, more liberals moving into the city. And the woman lost only by less than 100 votes 4 years ago. So it wasn't a shock to anyone in New Hampshire that the Democratic tax and spend contender won. And now Manchester can look forward to having a 4% property tax increase. She's going to try to pull it off. I'm telling you, she will. She's going to try to bring forth a what was it? She was looking for a 9% fee, I think it was, to fly out of Manchester Airport. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But anyway, tax and spend. But pretty much as people were predicting on both sides of the aisle, that's how the election went down yesterday. Now my friend Joe Kincannon in the Queens District of New York lost, evidently. He put up a good fight. I am sorry that he did not. Well, de Blasio won a second term. Now, I got to admit, I'm a little bit taken aback by that. But the Republicans didn't put up a good contender. And there wasn't much of a fight. So I guess, well, what do you expect? Look, New Yorkers, they reelected, people like Dinkins before. It's not it's not so surprising. In other words, if I was an infamous prestidigitator, I could have probably just gone ahead and predicted the outcomes and been correct probably about 98%, 99% of the time in this election, because there was nothing really surprising about it. Nothing. But the left-wing media is going all agog over this. Yeah, it's a huge win. This is an anti-Trump moment. This is just sending Trump a signal. I don't think so. Well, it wouldn't be sending. Well, if anything, it might be a wake-up call for the Republican Party, for them to get their act together finally. But in any case, the numbers were just too small to say that this was a message to go either way. There was no surprise. Just about everybody who was predicted to win won, so there was really no surprise. So I don't know how it could be construed as being a message to Trump. These places were nothing really changed hands, and it's basically status quo. I mean, Virginia their outgoing governor is a liberal Democrat, so their new incoming governor is a liberal Democrat. There's nothing surprising there, especially considering the makeup of Virginia, the voting makeup. And if I'm not mistaken, Trump didn't win Virginia in 16. He lost. But they're trying to make hay out of it. Hey, Trump only lost by 5 points. Gillespie lost by 8. Even after that horrible commercial of conservatives trying to run over children in a big, massive truck. Look, this is folks, I'm telling you, don't let your heart be troubled by this. The only thing I can say is that it is a wake-up call for the Republican Party. Because, folks, people that should have won, that were Republican candidates, whether or not they were pro-Trump or never-Trump, it doesn't matter. There were a few candidates. Now, frankly, I didn't expect Gillespie to win in Virginia, but he should have. He should have. And if the Republican Congress had been doing their job, he might have. Joe Kincannon should have won in Queens. De Blasio should have had a good, solid contender and lost. The Republican Party blew it. They had an opportunity to make some New Jersey's New Jersey. They just flip back and forth. It doesn't matter. And that poor woman, the lieutenant governor, she just had too much baggage. But they blew it. Now there were some places that it wouldn't have mattered what Trump did or what victories Trump may have gotten if the Republicans had done their job. Places like Manchester still would have elected the tax and spend liberal mayor. She almost won it last time. It's just the way it is. New Jersey governorship, Chris Christie's lieutenant governor would have gone down in flames. It didn't matter. But there were some significant places where inroads could have been made. Virginia's governorship was one. New York City was another. They wasted an opportunity. That's about the only takeaway. It was a slight wake-up call for Republicans. Other than that, this was not a big victory for Democrats. I mean, hey, yeah, the Democrats won in Virginia. Wait, they were already in charge in Virginia, so they didn't take anything away from Trump. I don't think that anything really flipped anywhere, did it? Well, I mean that was going to affect Trump. New Jersey's governor went to Democrats, so that's about the only thing that flipped. But one flip. And that's a huge, the media is reporting that to be a huge loss for President Trump. I don't think President Trump really cared about New Jersey anyway. Nobody else did. And I'd say the same thing if the lieutenant governor would have won. If New Jersey would have stayed in Republican hands, I would have said, this is no big victory. That's not a Trump victory. There's nothing there. So by token, it's not a Trump loss. There's nothing there. Virginia is not a Trump loss. It is a Republican loss, and it could have been a Republican win. Now, I know Trump is saying, well, he didn't, Gillespie lost because he didn't embrace me. I don't think, well, I hate to put, to disagree with the president on that, but I don't think that's the case. It's just, Northern Virginia is Washington, D.C. country. It's government land. Of course, they're going to vote for the liberal candidate, the big government candidate. But folks, I mean, this is, like I said, this was an off year. It was a midterm of midterm elections. It really doesn't. These elections really rarely show what's going to happen in a midterm or a formal national election. They rarely go that way. I mean, they mean very little, except on a local level. Now, I've always said that, the Tip O'Neill statement: politics is local. So what a lot of municipalities have done in their elections, is for some reason they've either stuck with, or in the case of Manchester, New Hampshire, have gone over to what they know to be tax and spend liberals. Look, it happens in California. California keeps liberals no matter what. California could be sinking. I mean, literally, financially, they could be on the verge of bankruptcy. They could even go bankrupt, and Californians would still elect liberals to be governors and state senators and representatives. They wouldn't change. They can't. It's not within them. So until we can start making some changes on a local level, there isn't going to be much change in D.C. And I don't expect there to be a lot of change during these off elections. I don't expect there to be a lot of change this year. I don't expect there to be a lot of change in 2019. When there is more off year elections. So that's just the way, unfortunately, that's the way it is. But is there a chance for change? Yes. Did the Republicans blow it? I think so. Will they win it? next year in the midterms, that is questionable. Is it questionable because of this off year election? No. This year's election pretty much went the way everybody predicted. There was no, I don't think there was a surprise. There really wasn't. And there were some places that were just too, like New Hampshire, Manchester, it was just too, I mean, the guy won less than 100 votes 4 years ago. So it was too close to call. Could have gone either way. Didn't matter. De Blasio, not a surprise. Concannon, to me, that was a slight surprise, but not a shock that he didn't win it. I'd hoped that people in Queens had learned their lesson. But Virginia, was that a surprise? No, not a surprise. Went pretty much as planned. The only thing that we were hoping that the race would be closer than it was. New Jersey? Yeah, no, anywhere else? Any surprise anywhere? No, not really. Now, I'm scratching my head about Maine, but otherwise, it's not really a surprise anywhere. Is this a huge win for Democrats? No, but you know what? As they say, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Democrats have had to get a win somewhere, sometime, at some point. But let's face it. Since 2010, if this is what they're going to call a victory, on an off year in elections that really don't matter, well, that's pretty sad.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
If you are, and I know that you're out there listening, if you're a person that, I know people are gonna spin this and say, oh, Rod is just Rod and the Republicans, man, and Rush and Sean, they're all sad because they didn't win. No, none of us really expected there to be a huge victory on the Republican part yesterday. I didn't expect it. And listening to everybody else, nobody else really expected it. The only hope that anybody had The only hope that anybody had was for Virginia. And even I didn't see it. Well, look, I realized that if liberals almost got away with it, there really wasn't an all outcry for that ad about Republican, showing Republicans trying to run over children in big bad trucks, like the big bad wolf, chasing Little Red Riding Hood. It was big bad conservatives and big bad trucks chasing down and trying to run over children. There wasn't a huge outcry over that. Now, if there was coming out of Virginia, I would have said, well, really, there is going to be change in Virginia. But there wasn't. The only reason that ad got taken off the air in Virginia wasn't because of Virginians got pissed off about it. It's because other red states got pissed off about it. So there wasn't going to be much change. wasn't going to be much change anywhere. But in any case, the whole election yesterday on the off year, as I have said before, pretty much went by the books. It went pretty much by the way everybody expected. Now, what is also expected is you're going to hear the left. Now pay attention to this. Today you're going to hear the left spin this as a huge anti-Trump, never Trumper, liberal policy victory for Democrats. Nothing really changed. I mean, there were some minor changes. There's going to be changes in Manchester, New Hampshire, going from a rather conservative, well-run city to a liberal. I'm making a prediction. I fully expect crime to rise and taxes to rise in the city of Manchester. I do. Well, they voted for it. I don't live there. I ain't going to live there. I love this state, but I don't love every corner of the state. Just saying. And they do stuff like that. It happens. But other than minor changes, well, I mean, that's going to affect the statewide, balance a bit. But there really wasn't much change that was expected. And much change did not happen yesterday. So there is no Democrat victory. They couldn't. Well, unless we were just going to totally obliterate the Democrat Party, which we should be doing. They were going to have to win sometime. I don't know why people thought they were always, constantly going to lose in every level. The Democrats weren't. This is why I was telling people you can't give them a foothold. You can't back down. You can't be like the stupid swamp Republicans in D.C. You can't. The Democrats are not, they may be down, but they're not out. They're not destroyed. Hello? This is a wake-up call for the Republican Party and the Republican Blue Bloods. And this is a wake-up call for 2018. Because that's when it's really going to count, both on a state and national level. That's when things really can flip and change. There was not much change yesterday. There wasn't much change expected yesterday. But a year from now, there can be in either direction. And you guys on the right, you so-called on the right, you Republicans, you better freaking wake up. Because you had an opportunity to make some inroads this election on an off year, and you didn't. That tells you, with Trump's approval ratings, with Trump's win, with the Trump's support numbers, I don't care what the mainstream media is reporting. The guy he has got massive support from the people, and you cannot tell me that you couldn't parlay that into some significant change. Yes, it's a wake-up call for Republicans. Now, hopefully they'll get their freaking heads off the pillow and start doing their jobs.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Hilary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
I know there are some people that are waking up crying this morning, but like I said, don't let not your heart be troubled on this election, because it's not that. There's nothing really earth-shattering or significant about it. The Democrats didn't really make any inroads anywhere. Nothing. There were some places that were too close to call and could have gone either way, and then they just didn't go the Republican way. I mean, Manchester, New Hampshire was an example of that. I got the numbers. The last mayoral election in Manchester, New Hampshire, between Ted Gatsas, the Republican, who was the Republican incumbent mayor this time around, and Joyce Craig, the tax and spend liberal. The last mayoral election in New Hampshire, in Manchester, New Hampshire, between these two, 4 years ago, Gatsas won by 64 votes. Yeah, you heard that correct. 64 votes. That's how much he won. So Joyce coming back around and being able to win this time, and the numbers are a little bit more significant this time around. She's probably won by some good 2,000 votes this time around. However, this is due to a very large influx of liberal voters into significant wards or sections of the city of Manchester. They had to import people. I'm not accusing anybody of election fraud here, because New Hampshire has changed some of its election laws, which makes it a little bit more difficult to commit election fraud. This is legally, whenever people come to New Hampshire, if they're poor and downtrodden, they dump them in two cities. New Hampshire dumps them in two cities. They dump them in Manchester, and they dump them in Nashua. And you're like, well, Rod, this is a national program. Why are you talking about local? No, the local stuff is, remember, all politics is local. And when you're trying to engineer wins in certain places, in certain cities or municipalities in certain states, Democrats are very good at manipulating the numbers and moving people where they want them to go. And they can do this easily with poor. This is why big government is so bad, because they can do this with the poor and the downtrodden. Anybody who's on government assistance, they can direct where they're going to live. Hey, we're going to find you housing. You need some Section 8 housing. You need some government assisted housing. Well, we're putting all the government housing in this district of this city, so you got to move there. Well, that's what happens, folks. I know so some people are thinking, well, no, they're tearing down projects, Rod. They won't have to get. No, they're not. Well, I mean, yes, they've torn down the massive high-rise projects, but they're rebuilding them as low rises, and they're taking over other properties and turning them into Section 8, and they're and expanding Section 8 and things like, at least in this state anyway. This is how they do it. This is how you legally stack the deck. And this is what has happened in Manchester over the past 4 years. Now, why Gatsas totally allowed it without much of a fight, I don't know. But he basically allowed it to happen. Well, I mean, and Nashua is no different because Nashua they're not a sanctuary city. They're a welcoming and open city. Yeah, right here in New Hampshire. I know. But look, they're right on the border with Massachusetts. Of course, that stuff is going to bleed in. We're trying to patch everything along the border. We're holding on. We're holding on. It's getting harder. Our numbers are decreasing compared to those that are crossing the border. And it's really kind of funny because people from Massachusetts, New York, and California, if you go along to southern New Hampshire cities and you look in apartment complexes, you'll see a lot of New York, Massachusetts, and California license plates because these people are moving here. And the funny thing is most of them are moving to escape the high taxes of the state that they left, but they're voting to bring that crap to here, which is I know, but this is the kind of stuff that happens all over. You hear people talk about how bad and how overburdensome government is, even for a lot of liberals, Democrat voters. And yet they go ahead and they still vote for the same people that gave them the garbage that they're complaining about in the first place. And most of them don't talk ill will about the rank and file Republicans and members and rank and file Democrat members. They don't talk ill will about each other. They really don't. I don't really have any animosity towards the average everyday Joe and Jane Democrat. But they go because it's family tradition. My dad and my dad's dad, my dad's dad's dad, they all voted Democrat, and I will not change that family tradition. Yeah, in a lot of more families than you would think, the tradition outstrips reason. And that's for Republicans too. I mean, you look at some of these families that are, have been Republicans since, day one in the 1830s or 40s, and they've nobody in the, none of the patriarchs and matriarchs have ever voted outside of the Republican Party. It does not matter who the candidate is, as long as they call themselves a Republican and got an R before their name, they're going to get that vote. That's the dumbest way to handle your vote, but that's the way a lot of people do. So they complain about stuff that they don't like. They complain about high taxes. New York City, California. They complain about big government spending. Maine. And yet they go ahead and they elect and reelect the same people that gave them the issues that they're complaining about in the first place. Folks, that has strictly... I ask everyone who's listening under the sound of my voice to check yourself. Is this what you do? Do you vote for somebody simply because, they're a Democrat or they're a Republican or they're an independent or a Green Party or a Libertarian Party or what have you? Do you vote party before you vote person? We have far too many Americans that do that. Which is the exact reason how Nancy Pelosi gets reelected in California. It's the exact reason how de Blasio de Blusterous gets reelected in New York City. It's how Joe Kincannon out of Queens doesn't get elected. When there was no New York City pundit that spoke out against Joe Kincannon, to tell you the truth. I mean, sure, there are people making fun of him because, he's talking about sidewalks and stops. Well, that's what they're supposed to talk about, your local city council people. But there wasn't any animosity or negativity surrounding Joe Kincannon's campaign on either. Nobody hated Joe Kincannon. He should have won. But he didn't. Why? Now, everybody talks about how the incumbent in that district does very little to help the people of Queens. So why didn't he win? Why didn't Kincannon? Well, because everybody, they stuck to their guns and, I got to vote for the Democrat. Folks, you got to break that habit. You can't vote party anymore. Party doesn't mean jack. Well, I guess if you're a Democrat, it really does mean, if you're a Democrat, then you're going to be liberal. But you can't vote strictly party anymore and expect for change. It's just not going to work. You got to vote person. Honestly, I think it might be time. It might be time for us to well, not by law or fiat, but it might be time for the American people to do away with the party system. Really, because it isn't doing much. Yeah, well, I shouldn't say it's not doing much. It is doing much. It's doing much to stand in the way of progress and change. That's for damn sure. But as far as making change, where we the voter, we the people think that there should be change, for whatever reason, we're just refusing to go outside of our own little family unit and go against tradition. We want to complain, but nobody wants to break tradition. This is how people get this is how Nancy Pelosi gets reelected. This is how, New Jersey stays red. This is how Virginia stays well. Yeah, that's how Virginia stays red. We gotta break this habit of look, it's not like we can't do it. We've done it. We've done it in the past. But you got to do it in the small local stuff that you think really doesn't mean very much on a national level. And the reality is, your local municipal election probably does not mean very much on a national level. But it means everything on your local level. Because, the federal government isn't going to have any say whatsoever, really, in what your tax rate is for your property in your city or town. But that mayor or councilman that you just elected is going to have a direct effect on your tax rate. And Manchester just voted for a tax and spend mayor. That's going to affect them big time. Locally, it's not going to affect anybody on a national. It's not going to affect people of California in any shape, manner, or form. It's not. But by the same token, if you're not willing to put some responsibility and fiscal restraint on your local candidate, what's there to make you think you're going to put the pressure on national candidates? Look, trust me, the people in state capitals, the swamp in state capitals, and in D.C. all across this country, are looking at the local elections and saying, well, you people don't care. You like being taxed and spent. If you were starting to make changes left and right on your local municipal level, trust me, those at the state and federal level would eventually start paying attention. This is why change happens at a local level. All politics is local. If Manchester had decided that they wanted a mayor that was fiscally responsible, would not ever raise taxes, he vetoed 16 tax increases in Manchester over his 4-year tenure. Can you believe that? And this person, Gillespie, she doesn't. Craig, excuse me. There hasn't been a tax that she hasn't liked, tax hike that she hasn't liked. By the way, we got a what is that story here? We got here it is. Danica. Manchester is celebrating because this is their first female mayor, but Virginians also elected their first transgender state legislator. Danica is her name. Danica Rome, or is it Roem? R-O-E-M. I haven't heard her pronounce her name. But Danica Rome. I mean, and frankly, this is what the lamestream media is pushing. Well, this is history, man. History. We got a transgender that got elected. Okay. If you're more interested in making history than just doing what's right, then that's another problem. That's another huge problem. Who cares? Now, frankly, I think that Danica Rome has a mental disorder, which probably should disqualify him as a candidate for public office. But hey, that's fine. You want to vote for them? Great. But why are you voting for her? And no, I'm not going to call him or her. I'm not. I know there are some places. Well, Rod, that's sexual harassment in some places. Rod, should be illegal. I'm sorry, it's not illegal. I don't buy the fact that he's. Look, now I know I've gone over this a dozen times before. It doesn't make any sense on the transgender scene to me. You're not going from male to your DNA still says you're male. Or your DNA still says you're female. I don't care what you look like on the outside. Does not matter. What really counts is what's on the inside that you cannot change. This is a 33-year-old journalist turned public works advocate as won Virginia's 13th District House of Delegates seat. Now, what's significant is that Rome beat the district's 26-year incumbent conservative values and government transparency champion Bob Marshall. I love how they put that. Yeah, he's a conservative value government transparency champion. What? She's not going to. Well, he's not. Well, Dan Rome is not going to be a government transparency. He's going to put the veil of secrecy back over government. Well, okay. Is that what they want? Sure, they can have that if they want in Virginia. Great, go ahead.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face and sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
The most politically incorrect black man in America. You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
And, you know, this whole thing down there in Virginia, the issue, Gillespie, he lost the race. Obviously, we all know that he lost, but he lost by looking at the numbers, by nearly 750,000 votes that Trump got. He didn't get nearly. So if Gillespie had gotten the number of votes that Trump had gotten, he would have won easily in Virginia, because he didn't lose. But, well, I mean, 8 points as far as, this is why you got to look past the stupid percentage numbers. Oh, yeah, he lost by 8 points, which is more than Trump. Well, Trump also got 700, almost 750,000 more votes than Gillespie did. So that's an important, well, I mean, Trump says, well, the reason why he lost is because he didn't embrace me. And I'm saying, no, that's not the full impact of it. But, yeah, it has a little bit to do with it, because Gillespie is a, typical rhino type of thing. He didn't really stand for much at all. That's why I say he blew it. The Republicans blew it in Virginia. They blew it. You don't stand for anything, and people aren't going to look. They don't. I don't know how many times I've got to say this. You can't be a wannabe or a liberal light, because if people want liberalism, they're not going to go for the fake liberal or the wannabe liberal or the almost liberal or the sometimes liberal. They're going to go full-on liberal. They're going to go full-on liberal. Yeah, I know you're never supposed to go full liberal. Well, this is if they want something liberal, that's exactly what they're not going to go for the fake liberal. And Gillespie is trying to be a fake liberal. He didn't stand for much. He blew it. Even when it was, look, I'm sorry, folks, but if you have a group of people who run an ad campaign where even most Democrats were up in arms about it, showing so-called conservatives jumping in big monster type, Ford trucks and trying to run over kids in the truck, and you can't win an election off of that? What's that tell you? Yeah, it better be a wake-up call. You got to stand for, you Republicans better stand for something, because you're not standing for anything right now. And people are a little sick of it. You're not going to get the Trump supporters. You need them to win elections. I hate to tell you Republicans this, but you need the Trump voter and Trump supporters in order to win your elections. You need them. You are not going to win without them. If anything, that should be a wake-up call to Republicans in Gillespie, just proving that fact. Nearly 750,000 votes more is what Trump got than Gillespie. I know it's an off year, but hey, come on, folks. They better learn their lesson quick.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Wednesday, Hump Day, November number 8 in the year of our Lord 2017, as we continue along here. By the way, did you know that the LA Police Department, LAPD, has confirmed that they are investigating the Hollywood pedophile ring? Yes, they're actually, after Corey Feldman's slam in charges and complaints, they're now admitting that. Now, I don't know how deep or how well the investigation is going to go, but considering that it is expected that by sometime next week, Harvey Weinstein, the New York City DA could level charges against Harvey Weinstein. Well, that'll be a first. But it's not so much a first as that they're going to have to get him. Because Harvey, he's over there overseas somewhere. And all he has to do is just go shack up with Roman Polanski, and he'll never be brought to justice. I'm just saying. So it could be who knows what they're going to find and uncover if they really do a real investigation. Who knows what they're going to uncover? It's going if the LAPD does a real investigation, and I mean a serious one like they would for just about any other crime. The potential of what they will find will devastate Hollywood and this country, really. I believe it's going to be devastating. It is going to devastate, especially financially. Because look what happened to the Catholic Church. And Hollywood's pockets, I don't think, are as deep as the Catholic Church's pockets. It's going to devastate studios and people. Now, some of those people should be devastated. Yes, I agree. Because that's just sick crap, messing with kids. But, hey, look, Harvard University hosts an anal sex workshop. I kid you not. A workshop at Harvard University last night during election night delved into the and I quote, this is from the College Fix, I quote, delves into the ins and outs of anal sex with a presenter denouncing the stupidity of abstinence of anal sex and the joys of putting things in your butt. You can't make this stuff up. I swear to God, you just can't. But in any case, it is Wednesday, so that means it is time for the Intel Report. Now, I know that it is possible for spies to put things in their butt in order to abscond with them out of certain countries or certain dangerous areas. But it wasn't for sexual purposes, I'm sure. But in any case, we have Agent 007 here with us this morning. Good morning, Agent. How are you?
First of all, it's Agent 010. Second of all, wow, what an intro. I put things in my butt to sneak them out of the country. No, I did not. Wow. And then I have to follow up on how to get your groove on after having butt sex. Gee, thanks. That was so nice of you. But anyway, hey, how you doing, Rod? How's everybody doing?
Good. It sort of fell into place. Can you believe this nonsense? I mean,
I don't want. That's a crappy situation to think about. Get it?
Pun intended. Yes, you got it. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Well, what you got for us this morning?
Well, okay.
There's a number of things.
By
the way, congratulations once again on being accurate about. You predicted, you saw that mess that is now occurring out there or over there in Saudi Arabia. You told us this was going to happen. I did. You know, and lo and behold, and they're still going after more.
There's going to be a full wage war going on, and it's not going to be a nice thing because, as you know, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, he decided to run off to Iran, and believe me, if Iran gets involved, another country is going to get even more involved, one that's not even involved as of now, but they eventually will, and that country is Syria.
Well, I saw this stuff coming up, and it was being reported that the new crown prince, the favored son of or grandson of the son or grandson of the current king, and people that you didn't think that, well, most of us didn't think would even be touched, like Al-Waleed. One of the first people to be detained and assets seized and all. I mean, there's $800 billion worth of assets have been seized by this new crown prince. He's serious.
It's going to get really nasty. Now, I have plenty of information for you guys, and I'm going to try to piece this together, and I'm going to try to also explain things in a way, and I'm not saying in a way that's basically like layman's terms. Now, I have figured out exactly when this entire situation with the Russian meddling in the American elections happened. And that happened in January of 2012. That is the month and the year that Mr. Michael McFaul, the American ambassador to Russia, landed in Russia and took control of the American embassy. Now, Mr. McFaul, previous to this, had no political experience. The man basically was a professor, and he was also an advisor, the advisor to President Barack Obama, on the Russian policy advisor for the National Security Council. He was the man when it came to Russia advising President Barack Obama. Now, when Mr. McFaul arrived in Russia, this individual decided to turn around under orders of the administration and started meddling in the legislative elections of Russia. He was meeting with opposition parties, or basically individuals that were against the entire Putin regime. And he was meeting with them, and he was meddling in their propaganda. He was boosting them up. Now, is this going to upset Vladimir Putin? Yes. What sent Vladimir Putin over the edge? Oh, well, that's when Secretary of State Hillary Clinton decided that to announce in 2011, decided to announce that the election was unfair, and not a free election. Now, mind you, this also started massive protests in the streets of the Russian country. I'm talking about Moscow. I'm talking about St. Petersburg. There were massive protests in the streets that finally were the outcome of the American interference in the Russian election. So Vladimir Putin decided we're going to get even. And 3 months ago, I told you and the listeners that Russia's interference in the American election were all down to two methods. And those methods were Twitter and Facebook. Basically the same thing that was done to the Russians. Now, I'll get back to that in a little bit. Now, what I want to get into after this is that even though there was American meddling in the Russian elections, and the Russians decided to get even with the Americans by spreading propaganda as they did to Putin, the American Democratic Party, the DNC, decided that they were going to blame Russia for hacking into their computer systems. Here's the problem. Problem number one. That's not what happened. There is an expert that used to work at the NSA, okay, and his name is Mr. William Binney, and he was a former high-ranking NSA official who became a whistleblower. Now, he explained that he went into WikiLeaks and he took a look at the packets, the information packets on how they were downloaded. Now, and he used that by looking at the metadata of the emails. Now, the metadata explained how these emails were stolen. Now, here's the example that I use to explain things to people. You live in a house. There are two of you that live in a house. You both have the same exact amount of furniture, and you both have the same exact size truck. Now, you're supposed to load this truck up with your belongings, and you're supposed to get everything out of the house in, let's say, 3 moves. Okay? 3 times you can come back and move your things. So one truck heads across town. The other truck goes next door. Which one do you think is going to be unloaded and finished moving first? Logic dictates that, of course, it's going to be the house next door. Well, Mr. Binney is saying that the information that was transferred from the DNC took much too fast to be downloaded and sent to Russia or hacked in by Russia. He says that the speed and the methodology that was used to download this information off the DNC server was by, get ready for it, a thumb drive. In other words, somebody downloaded the information onto a thumb drive and then sent it to WikiLeaks.
So what the proof is then that the Russians didn't, from anywhere on the planet, including possibly from their embassy here, didn't hack into DNC. Somebody actually at the DNC. It was an inside job. Now, didn't they just say that they believe it was an inside job? Now, somebody just said that. Everybody's been pointing the finger at, Seth Rich, the murdered DNC operative, was the inside guy.
I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Okay, believe me. I tried to get this in an order where I will not lose anybody. So, Mr. Binney says this is how it happened. Well, President Trump says, "Hey, Mike." And he's speaking to Director Pompeo of the CIA. Talk to Binney, see what he has to say, because this guy's making a big stink, and who knows what he's got. So Mr. Pompeo takes 2 of his personnel with him to speak to Mr. Binney, 2 of his top hacking dogs. Now, they go with Mr. Pompeo, or Director Pompeo, and they speak with Mr. Binney. Mr. Binney then shows the metadata, shows the methodology, shows everything. Well, here's Mr. Pompeo, and he's like, really? Now, how do I know that Director Pompeo was impressed with the information that Mr. Binney has? Easy. Director Pompeo says, we're going to set up a meeting with the director of the FBI and the director of the NSA. Now, if Mr. Binney had nothing, or it was just basically smoke and mirrors, Director Pompeo would not set up this meeting with director of the FBI and director of the NSA. He would just say, interesting, but you're full of it. Well, guess what? Obviously, it is interesting, and Mr. Binney is not full of it. Now, there's an individual that works for NBC. He's one of their commentators and one of their analysts. His name is Malcolm Nance. Now, Mr. Nance, who claims to be a former operator for the NSA, such as I was, now, I cannot say he wasn't an operator, because in the NSA, unlike the SEAL teams or the Special Forces, NSA operators, we don't know each other. That's one of our safety mechanisms. We don't know each other. We don't interact with each other. And even if we know each other, we don't know that the other is an operator. Unlike the SEALs, they work as a team, so they are an operational team. We are operational individuals. But when you put that you're an expert in torture on your Twitter profile, that raises a red flag in my mind. But anyway, Mr. Nance says, oh, definitely WikiLeaks is a clearinghouse for Russia. Now, let's take a look at another very famous situation. Let's take a look at the time, Bradley Manning. Manning managed to download 734,119 total documents and reports. That's not including video. Not including video. So, if Bradley Manning can download all this stuff, send it to WikiLeaks, and WikiLeaks can sort it out, disseminate it, and crank it out in a matter of a couple of weeks, Mr. Nance is saying that Russia is the only ones that have the capability of sorting everything out and disseminating it as quickly as they did. Then he sits there but ignores what Bradley Manning and WikiLeaks' Julian Assange had done. Here we have two examples of exactly what I'm talking about. You have the DNC hack, or supposed DNC hack, into their system, and then you have Bradley Manning. Manning cranked out more documents than the DNC documents. But yet WikiLeaks managed to find a way to sort and disseminate all this information. So if we follow Mr. Nance's theory, that means that Bradley Manning was either A, Russian spy sending everything to Russia, who then sent it to WikiLeaks after everything was sorted out, or Mr. Nance is wrong. I'm going to go with B, because it's been proven that Bradley Manning was not a Russian spy. Period. End of that story. Now, Seth Rich, on the other hand, here's what I find simply amazing about Seth Rich. He turned around and sadly was murdered. But yet, why does Donna Brazile dedicate her book to Seth Rich, a true patriot? Why was Donna Brazile concerned about what happened to Seth Rich happening to her? Now, am I saying that the DNC hired a hit person? No, I'm not. But the DNC was involved in one way or another in basically the death of Seth Rich. I don't know how. Maybe they were told, we're going to take care of the situation, and they said, we're not going to meddle. Fine. They didn't meddle.
Well, does this, is there any indication that could make or points to the complicity of Hillary Clinton? Because Brazile has just dropped a bomb saying, yeah, Clinton was in charge of everything.
If Donna Brazile has a suspicion, then she should bring that suspicion to light. Now, Donna Brazile also said that she sat there, that the DNC was sitting there and watching the Russians hacking into the computer system. Let's make one thing perfectly clear. Donna Brazile is stating this because she got this information from CrowdStrike, which is the company that came in that was hired by the DNC to check out what went on in their computer system. It wasn't the FBI that did that investigation. It was not the NSA. It wasn't anybody but CrowdStrike. Now, CrowdStrike has a very good reputation in Washington, D.C. And here's why they have a great reputation. They make the customer happy. That's it. Because nothing that CrowdStrike has shown can be verified, because after CrowdStrike got done, the DNC took their server and completely wiped it clean. I mean, that's a great, honestly, between Hillary Clinton and the DNC, BleachBit, you can't have a better commercial. If you don't want to get busted, use BleachBit. I mean, seriously. That is those two are the perfect commercial for that program. But So now the FBI, the NSA, nobody can go in and take a look at what happened to the server. They're going off the report from CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike, of course, is going to want to make their client happy. So I have yet to see anybody call in CrowdStrike and find out exactly what was found in that computer system. They're just going off the report about CrowdStrike. Now, if you honestly want to take a look at the fact that, now we're going to get back to the other thing. If you want to take a look, how did Vladimir Putin get even with the United States after January 2012, or after 2012, I should say?
Well, hold that thought. We'll get to that right after the break. Got to take that break, of course, and we'll give you plenty of time to get into the Putin stuff, because this is getting interesting, folks. Real interesting. Hey, you just remember, you hear this stuff first here on this program, nowhere else. And I don't have a big multi-million-dollar budget like these other news outlets. Just saying.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
There's one thing that we have to understand about the DNC, about Donna Brazil, about all the wonderful politicos on either side of the political aisle. There's a lot of intrigue going on. There's a lot of and look, folks, we do to other countries what other countries are doing to us, which is why they're doing it to us, because we did it to them in some degree. It's the old one, that finger is pointing at Putin, but 3 fingers are pointing back at our people. These operatives, or Donna Brazil and people like that, they all know what's going on. And I'm just waiting for somebody just to get brave enough to actually let the entire truth be known.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey.
Ah! Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye? I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? What's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents, which leads to millions killed in shelters each year. Turns out, those little cuties can get pregnant sooner than you think. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. When you bring home a pet, get them fixed at 4 months old. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event!
Promises to one's community.
Healthy people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late. We stay informed. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Call Rod now, 666-603-835-3226. There's an air guitar contest that happens annually. This, no joke, folks. I am not putting you on. You can't make this up. It happens in the summer. Where is it's? Is it? It's not in Chicago. It's not out west where you think it'd be in California. Now I know. I actually had it here. Because they're actually telling people for local contests. Now, I don't know if in your neighborhood, and I'm looking around my neighborhood to see if there's an air guitar. It's kind of like a beauty pageant thing where you got to win your state in order to go to the nationals. And I can't find the local thing. I would just like to go and see how these people actually compete in air guitar competition. I have no idea. They probably got the idea from the movies. What was it? Airheads, was that it? I don't know. We've got a or was it? No, it wasn't Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. They actually played the guitar. But yeah. But now, why do I bring that up? Because because of the song that was just playing, the bumper. But it's also because people are faking playing the guitar, which we have a lot of people in D.C. faking being politicians. Well, they're being politicians, but they're faking being statesmen. And they're running around faking about all this. Hillary Clinton was throwing the finger, faking about Donald Trump being the one colluding. And as we're learning right now, it was Hillary Clinton that was doing all the colluding. Obama was running around faking that he was all for the United States and he was going to be the USA's greatest president. And that was a big fake, big lie. Faking is nothing more than lying. This is what all these people have been doing. I don't know how else to put it for people to understand it. This is a big lie is a bunch of small and medium-sized lies that all add up. And some people like Don. If I were Donna Brazil, I'd be wearing body armor everywhere I went outside. Put up bulletproof glass in my windows in my condo or apartment or house or wherever she lives. She's gonna have. Well, I guess you can't do unless you do plastic surgery. You can't do the U.S. Marshals witness protection program because everybody knows what she looks like. But I'd have to do it. Some of these people have to do this. They have to go into a witness protection program sort of thing. This is probably what Seth Rich needed to do. Now, I'm sorry, folks. I know that there is no legitimate or current proof that I know of that anybody in the DNC or anybody connected to the DNC was responsible for the murder of Seth Rich. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but come on. The evidence is very clear that this was not a botched robbery, as what they're telling us. Plain and simple. And that's probably why Donna Brazil has said what she said. Yeah, I was afraid for my life because look what happened to Seth Rich. Is basically what she said. She had to put that out there so she doesn't end up, because people have ended up killing themselves that have known the Clintons. Seriously. I'll just put it out there that way. But we're continuing here with our wonderful intel report from... Now, I don't think you've got anything on the table. Putin doesn't make any qualms about making people disappear. People disappear because of Putin, so he doesn't make them appear to be suicidal, does he?
Oh God, no! Hell no! Oh my God, I'm sorry. I have no idea how that little piece of plutonium ended up in somebody's neck. No, I have no idea. Yeah, okay. So yeah, he makes no qualms about it. Okay, now Here's more proof. Now, the DNC is running around saying how Vladimir Putin interfered in our election. They're not lying, but they're also not telling the whole truth. And here's what happened. Vladimir Putin did decide to meddle in American election. And how did he do that? Basically the same way that the Americans did it to him. He used, like I said before, Twitter and Facebook. In fact, I told you this 3 months ago, Rod. The Russians used Twitter and Facebook. Now, when the CEOs of these top social media outlets sat there in front of a Senate committee and they were questioned how this happened, they went on and on and on. Then come to find out that absolutely zero, not a one of these supposed targets or targeted demographics was against or named either Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. Then we find out that 56% of all of these social media slams came in after the election. But even though Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump were not named, 100% of these hits that they were doing through social media were targeting platforms that Donald Trump stood for. So even though they were not targeting the man himself, they were targeting his platform on his agenda. So you're going to sit there and tell me that they were for Donald Trump when they were hitting him and his platform or his agenda, and 56% of it came after the election, and that's when things started getting really bad in the United States with the rioting, as they did in 2012. So
that's because they were. Let me see if I get this right now. That's because Putin was for Donald Trump before he was against him.
You sound like a Democrat. Knock it off. Anyway, John Kerry. Now, the situation that lies is, now I'm sure many of your liberal listeners are going to sit there and say, well, you know what? I mean, this whole thing, what Hillary did and the American ambassador is just proof that he hated Hillary. Well, no, it's not. It's proof that he was angry at Hillary. It's proof that he didn't like what she did. But he also understood one thing, and that thing is, in order to get Hillary to do what you want to do, pay her. That is one fact that still cannot be negated. That is one fact that still cannot be changed. Vladimir Putin wanted Hillary Clinton in office for the simple fact is that she was predictable, and all you had to do was throw a whole bunch of money at her family's foundation, and she will do exactly what she wanted you to do. Well, excuse me, she'll do what you want her to do. So therefore, don't sit there and tell me that, oh, well, they were mortal enemies. No. I'm sorry. Let me put this in plain English, ladies and gentlemen. Hillary Clinton lost the election because as a presidential candidate, she sucked. She sucked rotten eggs. Okay? Plain and simple. She had 0 successes as a senator, 0 successes as a Secretary of State. And if you say Libby, oh, I swear, if you say Libby, I will smack in the mouth, because that ended up being a complete hellhole. And that's exactly what it is now. And we're trying to clean up that mess in Libya. So, again, as I said, well, in fact, you know what? What do we take away from today? A, the American government, in particular, the Obama administration, started this whole thing with Russia as far as election meddling. B, we also learned that it doesn't take a government or an intelligence agency to get into a computer system and disseminate this information to somebody who's going to blab it to the entire planet, i.e. WikiLeaks. It's already been done with Bradley Manning, Edward Snowden, and, I'm sorry to say this to you Democrats, Seth Rich. Proof positive. These two individuals are proof positive that Seth Rich could have done it, and possibly, well, there's a very good chance that he did do it.
Well, we know this is one of the things that I don't get, because the lamestream media, well, I do get it. The lamestream media purposely stays away from this. But we know for a fact that the Obama administration did do some election engineering and meddling in foreign elections with Israel. He actually sent money and people over there. We know this.
Hold on. Israel? And you're forgetting Honduras, Libya, Brexit, Macedonia. Yeah,
well,
he was also. We also had election meddling in Macedonia.
Well, the Brexit thing. Yeah, he was. He actually, he went and tried to campaign for that too. But we know that the real behind the scenes type of meddling that he did in Israel, which was, Macedonia was some of those other Honduras, some of those other countries. Our government has been meddling in those types of things for decades. But this is the first time that you had an ally come forward and say, look, this is what's happening in my country, and you're supposed to be my friend. So this is because Obama didn't like Bibi Netanyahu. And there was no secret about that. Everybody knew that Obama didn't like Benjamin Netanyahu.
Look, from my report today, we take away, like I said, three things. A, the Americans started. B, it doesn't take an intelligence organization to disseminate everything to WikiLeaks so they can spread the word. An inside person could have done it. And C, we also learned that Russia, they were using social media, like I said 3 months ago, against Donald Trump, not Hillary Clinton. And this is coming straight from the executives of these social media outlets. This is coming straight from them. Not from some Republican, not from anybody else, but the actual people that collected all this data. So, you know what? Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I got to present the facts as they are. And the truth is, you know what? We may be the United States. We may be the most powerful country in the world. But you know what? If you keep sticking your nose in somebody else's political or elections, don't be surprised if it happens to you. Oh, too late. Already did. Now, I also want to give Now, I want to give a shout out to somebody who is an amazing, amazing person, to Gretchen Smith. Gretchen Smith, she's on Twitter. Follow her. If you're a veteran or family member of a veteran, or if you highly support our vets and our military, go to Twitter or Facebook and follow her, or better yet, follow Code of Vets. On Twitter, it's @Code of Vets, and on Facebook, it's Code of Vets. So follow them. They're amazing people. They're veterans. Gretchen Smith, she's a powerhouse. She's an awesome, God-loving woman. So that's it. That's my plug.
Okay, well, there you have it for Gretchen. Let's give now, is she a veteran too?
Yes, she is. She was Air Force, or as we in the Army.
All right, I like her already, Air Force.
Yeah, as we in the Army affectionately call them, Chair Force.
Yeah. All right. So we have a takeaway here that Seth Rich probably was silenced because he was capable and fully capable, and probably did what these other people have done, as far as being able to utilize shall we say politely, an informational transfer system.
Yeah, thumb drive.
Yeah. It doesn't take an engineer to do that. You stick it in a computer and you say copy, or copy to file, and there you go. And it's nothing as dramatic as you see in the movies, where it takes some of these files I guess are pretty large, but it doesn't take forever for this stuff to happen.
It takes a lot, and I mean a considerably lot less time to download something on a thumb drive than it does for the system to detect it, and then after the program detects it, then actually collect it into bundles or packets, and then transport it, just digitally transport it to another location. From a thumb drive, a thumb drive is already in the computer. So you're copying files from the computer to the computer.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I have a few of these stupid flash thumb drives laying around the studio somewhere. I don't use them very often, but yeah, they're quite simple. You just plug them in and unplug them, and it doesn't take long.
Exactly.
You don't even need those in it. They just have the stupid what do they call the ID just the SIM cards, the SDHC cards.
Oh,
those little things.
Yeah. Well, Seth Rich was archaic, I guess. I don't know. He wasn't as up to date and hip as you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I only have those things because that's what's used in my cameras. Any case, thank you so much for your report again, Agent 00, and as always, please stay safe out there.
You got it. You all have a great one, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. And we'll be back, folks.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
You know, here it is right here. I knew I'd seen this before, back this past summer. Sometimes my memory is a trap. I don't remember where I see it, but here it is. There was an air guitar world championships took place back in August of this past year. The 22nd annual air guitar world championships, and they took place in, how do you pronounce Oulu, Oulu, in northern Finland, and it took place over a 3-day period. And they have individual national champions competed, because we had there evidently there's a Rob Windhammer Weichert or Weichert, Weychert is the U.S. air guitar champion. I can't. You can't make this stuff up. I don't even know where. Well, Northern Finland. Well, it's in August anyway. So it's the 1 month of summer that they have in Finland, I guess. Notice they don't have this stuff in the middle of winter in Finland. But yeah, World Guitar Championships in Finland. And next year, I guess August of every year. So if you better practice. How do you practice your air guitar? How do you practice that? Practice your air guitar. So I don't even. There you go, folks. If you want to do something with it, go right ahead. But the fakery. Now we're having world championships for fakery. You don't even got to be real anymore. Just what's next? Fake beauty pageants. I guess why not? Everything else is got its fake counterpart too. Back to the story about Harvard University hosting an annual sex work. Evidently, they have a Facebook page, and it has to do with Sex Week. This past week at the University of Massachusetts and Harvard University in Massachusetts. Now the University of Massachusetts Boston is near Harvard, which is near MIT. Evidently, there was a sex week this past, and they had workshops. Now, I don't know what kind of a workshop must you have in order to talk about. The workshop was held as part of the Ivy League University Sex Week about anal sex, which launched Monday and actually runs through November 12th, titled What in the Butt? Anal 101. The event drew nearly 50 students. I guess that, Bill Clinton, anybody? That's not really sex. It's fake sex, I guess. I'm just. At one point, the presenter leading the workshop passed out gloves and butt plugs to students. Now, folks, you're sending your kids to college to get rubber gloves and butt plugs given to them. With instruction cards. Yeah. In instruction cards and instructions on how to relax, go to it when you want to. I can't just toss this away. This is unbelievable. If you I'll put a link if you want to know more about this from the College Fix. Who does this? Why do they even have it's a sex week? We got to learn in college. Are they? Well, I guess they have college. Don't they have? Well, they have isn't it? Sexual therapy. Anybody remember who was the Dr. Ruth Westheimer? This is that woman's fault, by the way. All this current sexual debauchery stuff. It's that woman's fault. Anybody remember Dr. Ruth Westheimer? And when it came down to it, I guess her husband said, no, Dr. Ruth wasn't a freaky woman. She was just a, same boring sex partner like anybody else would be. But she advocated for all this crazy sex stuff. This is in the 80s and the 90s. Remember that? Anybody remember this? Well, this is her legacy. I don't even, is she still alive? I have no idea. But this is her legacy. Now we're having seminars and having alternative sex, not sex, relax this for sex, and what orifice is somebody going to be wanting to stick something in next?
It was just another quiet Saturday at the Johnson home.
Honey, have you seen the hammer?
It's in the garage.
Oh, no, not the garage.
Later that same day...
Dad, I can't find the bicycle pump.
Son, I'm afraid it's in the garage.
The garage?
Then the following Tuesday...
Howard, where's the car?
It's in the garage.
Does your garage look like a giant yard sale without the yard? Do you cringe at the thought of entering your garage? Then you need Crest Garage Cabinets. With one phone call, those wonderful folks at Crest will come out to your home, design the best combination of cabinets for you, and install them quickly and professionally before your very eyes.
It's a miracle.
And unlike other companies who ask for a down payment or money up front, you won't pay a penny until your Crest cabinets are installed to your satisfaction. So call Crest today, toll-free at 1-800-548-2848. That's 1-800-548-2848. And you'll never fear going into your garage again.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. Welcome back. Hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. The fastest 3 hours on internet talk radio is right here, powered by Zinc Media Arts. It is Wednesday, Hump Day, as some people know it. November 8th in the year of our Lord 2017. And today is... well, we have a list of we'll get to the list of today's. We didn't do it yesterday at all this week, did we yet? So we'll have to get back into doing that. We'll get at the bottom of the hour. We'll get into today's holidays for today. But first, yes, as I said, welcome back. Glad that you are here. Thanks again to Agent 0010 for the Intel intelligence report this week. Some bombshells there. And just to reiterate, now, these reports, and they're becoming available individually on the website, rodeccles.net. Just a little plug there, shameless plug. But you can, we're going to have them all on there because we have them all recorded. So we're going to get them all posted up there. And you'll be able to search and look for them and listen to them yourself. And they're going to be dated. And you'll be able to see how accurate he has been. And this is one of those things, well, the Saudi thing with the whole pointing the fingers with the DNC pointing the fingers about Putin thing and the Trump collusion, which really wasn't Trump. All this stuff we've talked about this stuff before, and we've nailed it. We continue to nail it. And for some of the stuff that we think we maybe didn't nail, all we have to do is just wait a little bit longer and we realize that we nailed it. I'm just saying. It's almost 100% accurate here. It's uncanny. So, but look, when you're absolutely, your only agenda is to find the truth and to report the truth, that's how you're going to be accurate. That is how everybody in this that's involved in this program, that is how we're all so accurate, because all we're concerned about is the truth, no matter what that truth is. We have an agenda. The agenda is the truth. The agenda is preservation of the Constitution and your rights. But first and foremost, is just finding the damn truth. And when you look for that, it's pretty damn hard to be wrong. Just honestly speaking. And I know some people, no, Rod, you're wrong. Really? If you search for the truth, you're going to be wrong? You're only going to be wrong in the eyes of people who don't care about the truth and only have their agenda, which is mostly liberal, the left-wing, ultra nut job liberal Democrats. They don't particularly give a damn about the truth. There was an Alex Jones video out there. And it was one of the female InfoWars babes was out there doing an interview with some college students. Basically, many of the college students that she interviewed, they didn't care one way. Hey, if Donald Trump didn't collude, do you think he should be impeached? Yeah. So if he's not guilty of collusion with Russia, he should still be impeached. Yeah. So they don't care about the truth. They don't give a damn that it was Hillary Clinton. They just don't like him, and simply because they don't like him for whatever reason, they can't even really tell you why they don't like. Well, he's a racist. No, he's not. Nobody's ever proved Donald Trump to be a racist. Look, Jesse Jackson himself gave Donald Trump, along with a bunch of other people, not once but a few times, NAACP awards in New York and in Atlanta and other places for his work and contribution to the black community. How is that racist? You point that kind of stuff out to these liberal Dunkoffs, and all they can come back, well, we don't like him. He's not presidential. What is that? What the hell does that mean? Hillary Clinton passing out, collapsing, that's presidential? When she was on the campaign trail? I guess that was. I guess that's presidential. Yeah. So it's not about the truth for a lot of these people. Not at all. Which is why they're always wrong. Fusion GPS founder met with Russian attorney on the day she went to Trump Tower. Yeah, Fusion GPS. Yeah, they're in the middle. I had never heard of Fusion GPS before all this collusion nonsense. I mean, they don't even. Do they really exist now? But in any case, there were two strains of the Russia story. Two strains of the Russia story collided, at least crossed paths, in the day Russian attorney Natalia Veselinskaya met with Donald Trump Jr. And evidently Donald Trump Jr. was set up for this meeting because the co-founder of Fusion GPS, the firm behind the unverified Trump dossier, the one where he had prostitutes at the hotel and they were, golden shower type of thing, and all that stuff that never happened. Again, the stupid millennials, that they interviewed with the Alex. Hey, the Fusion GPS or the Trump dossier is proven to be a fake. Does that matter? No, because it could have been true. And there was one person that said, no, it doesn't matter that it was fake because it could have been true. Wait, no, it could not have been true because it wasn't true. But it doesn't matter to these people because they believe they wanted to believe with all their heart and all their soul and all their might that the dossier was true. And now that we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the dossier was fake and paid for by the Clintons and the DNC, that it was completely and totally and utterly not a shred of truth to it, fake. They're running around, those wonderful little leftist millennials are running around saying, "Oh, well, it may not have been true, but it could have been." Well, anything could have been. But it doesn't make it so. It wasn't. You can't base your life on what could have been. Well, Donald Trump could have ordered some prostitutes for and given him a golden shower. I suppose anybody could have. But the actual facts don't matter. That's a big problem, folks. You've got people that want to believe something so bad, and then when it is proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is not true, they're still going to cling to it because it could have been true. In some form, in some fashion, in some dimension, it could have been true. The fake dossier, bought and paid for by the Clintonistas, the Clintons, the Clinton Foundation, the DNC, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. It was paid for by those people. Proven to be fake, but it could have been true. That's what they're hoping for. Because we know it's fake. But Rod, yeah, we know it's fake now, but it could have been true, you know. Donald Trump could have done that because he was in Russia and he did stay in hotels in other places, and he could have hired prostitutes to come and give him a golden shower. That could have been true, Rod. It could have been true. The co-founder of Fusion GPS, the firm behind the unverified, of course, it's not going to be verified. We already know it's fake. Trump dossier met with a Russian lawyer before and after a key meeting she had last year with Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr. This is something that Fox News has learned and all the rest of the famous mainstream media is ignoring. Now, the contacts shed new light on how closely tied to the firm was to Russian interest at a time when it was financing research to discredit then candidate Donald Trump. Now, yes, everybody does opposition or candidate research when they get into a political race. That is normal. But most people don't pay for stuff that isn't true. They don't pay for fake stuff. They knowingly pay for fake stuff. They don't tell people to make stuff up. This is what they did, though. Fusion GPS, hours before the Trump Tower meeting on June 9th back in 2016, Fusion co-founder and ex-Wall Street Journal reporter Glenn Simpson was with Vasilenskaya in a Manhattan federal courtroom. So says a confidential source. So they met before, met after, because they were colluding on how to set Trump and Trump Jr. up. That's what they were doing. Evidently, Donald Trump Jr. didn't take the bait. I guess they're all, those Trumps are smarter than everybody thought, huh? Or gave him credit for. In any case, so all this stuff, this fake stuff was, in other words, they were trying, they knew that all this dossier, all this other stuff was fake and false. What they were trying to do is they were trying to make it true. Do folks realize how dangerous that is? I mean, think about it. Well, let's just take it to the extreme for a second here, folks. Because I know people think, well, it really doesn't matter, but it matters to everything here. This is why. Now, let's just take yourself for a second. Look at yourself. You are probably not a murderer. You haven't murdered. Most people who've listened to this program probably haven't murdered anybody. So now you're running for, I don't know, maybe your local dog catcher office, and you have another a person running for the same office. Well, they want to do opposition research on you because they want to be elected dog catcher, and so do you. So what do? They come up with a premise. Well, you could have been a murderer. And so they go out and they hire somebody to find evidence that you're a murderer. And then this person comes back and says, well, we really didn't find anything, but we can make up a little bit of stuff. We can twist some stuff to make it seem like they're a murderer. And then you set up meetings with, this person sets you up and your campaign up with meetings with hitmen. Yeah, this is what they do. Because they haven't found any evidence that you're a murderer, because you're not. So they try to make you a murderer. So you see, the Trump campaign didn't collude with anybody for anything, with anything. And by the way, collusion is, there's no law against colluding. But they didn't collude with the Russians. There was no evidence that they did. So what did they do? They tried to set them up to make them guilty of collusion. As if somebody tries to set you up to make you guilty of being a murderer. Hey, we have this, we can make this up that he was in Texas when the Texas chainsaw massacres took place. And he asked for chainsaws to be delivered to his hotel room. That can be made up. And then after they make this stuff up, hey, why don't you have somebody in your campaign go meet with this guy over here, in this room over here in this hotel. Yeah, he's a hitman. Yeah, but he's not going to hit anybody right now. So you should probably go talk to him because he wants to talk to you about some stuff. This is exactly what they did with this Russian collusion stuff on Trump. The problem is that they could not get the Trump campaign to fall for this garbage. Plain and simple. But I guess that doesn't count because, hey, after all, the left wants all this Trump collusion stuff to be true. They want it to be true.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, Not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
For November 8th. And now these may be annual. Most of these are annual. They happen every year, and some of them are just, once in a lifetime type of thing. But these are the holidays for today that are being celebrated today. Today is Abet and Aid Punsters Day. It's a day to make bad puns and to encourage others to do the same. So if you're into puns, especially bad, today's bad pun. Basically, today is bad pun day. Abet and Aid Punsters. So I'm sure everybody's got a friend that always spouts off some bad puns. Well, today's your day November 8th is a day to support your bad punster. Or even a good punster. Not pundit, punster. Today is also Cooking Something Bold Day. Cook Something Bold Day. Try a recipe that you've never tried before. Be bold about it, I guess. It's not just bold in flavor, but just try something that's different and that you've never done or cooked before. So it's easy to find. I mean, we got a plethora of cookbooks and cooking shows, and just go to the Food Network. I'm sure they probably will be able to tell you something bold that you can do or make. It is National Ample Time Day as well. This is a day dedicated to reflecting on one's priorities, your daily structures. So I've got most of my priorities in line, in proper line. I still don't have enough time in the day. There's not ample time. I still run out of day before I run out of time. Here's something I can celebrate. I fully understand and can celebrate and get fully behind. It is National Cappuccino Day. Yes, it is. So go out. Is anybody going to get free Starbucks cappuccinos today? Does Dunkin' Donuts giving out any cappuccinos? Well, it's not coffee day. It's Cappuccino Day. It is also National Dunce Day. Although I'm surprised that they can still celebrate this. Remember, if you were a Dunkopf, or if you said something stupid or did something stupid in class, you sat in the corner with a dunce cap on your head? Well, you can't do that anymore because somehow that's going to affect a child's self-esteem, and that's probably racist or something. I don't know. But I'm surprised they haven't stopped this day. But it's National Dunce Day, National Dunkopf Day, which is every day down in D.C. It is also National Harvey Wallbanger Day. So after you have your cappuccino in the afternoon, you can go out after work and get a Harvey Wallbanger. I'm not a fan of wallbangers. I'm not. It's also National STEM Day, or STEAM, STEAM Day. National STEM Day and National STEAM Day. I don't know what it is. There's no information about it. If anybody knows what that is, fine. I guess STEM research is what it's all about. STEM research. It's National Parents as Teachers Day as well. Yes, parents are the best and first teachers of little chillin'. And today is a day that we celebrate parents as being teachers, I guess. It is also National X-Ray Day. Yes, we celebrate the invention of the X-ray today. And lastly, it is World Town Planning Day, also known as World Urbanism Day. So, if your town isn't properly, well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. World Urbanism Day. Town plan. This is a holiday made up by the UN, right? I wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't put it past them. Hey, when are we going to have World Destructive Human Day? It's probably coming up sometime too.
You might be surprised to learn who has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Nearly 1 in 200 Americans are suffering with the debilitating pain and constant disruption of these inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. Chances are you know someone with IBD. For example, your neighbor or coworker. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation was created to help patients cope and to find a cure. People with IBD can't wait. Won't you help someone you know? Visit www.escapethestall.com today.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. But most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey.
Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Welcome back. Hey, breaking away a little bit. Well, it's still part of D.C. This whole sexual thing that's going on. Well, there's a report here from McClatchy that states that the Democrats, even though they had some victories yesterday, nothing that was out of the ordinary and nothing extraordinary, nothing that wasn't expected. Really, yesterday was not a day that was upsetting in any way. The election yesterday. I mean, there wasn't much that wasn't predicted. That didn't happen yesterday. Really, it was not earth-shattering. It was no huge victory for the Democrats. But despite that, McClatchy is reporting Democrats are desperate to avoid a culture war with Trump in the 2018 election. Because they know that Democrats don't want to do a culture war with just about anybody at any time, not just with Trump, because they know that they will lose it because the vast majority of the American people do not go along with their, if it feels good, do it kind of mantra. Because that's not the way things work. Virginia may celebrate, electing a openly transgendered state representative. Ooh. I guess somehow that's supposed to be on par with electing, black people and Latino people and Asian people and Native American people to political offices that have never held those particular offices before. It's not, well... if you don't even, you can hide, some people can hide being a transgender. You don't know that they're not the sex that they were born with because they do such a good job of changing over. You can't hide being black or Latino or Native American or, there is a program on Netflix that I like. And I liked it last year. Last season. So this year, I said, well, I'll give it this year, this season's kind of, there's only 6 episodes. So I got to go through the whole thing. It's kind of starting off kind of slow. And that's the Australian import, Clever Man. Now, Clever, the lead character in this is an Aboriginal Australian named Hunter. Yeah, that's his first name. He's Hunter something. But they're also, he's an Aussie American. His dad is Australian. His mom is American. So I do believe he's got dual citizenship. And now I guess he's half Aboriginal. I don't know. It doesn't, in any case, he doesn't look like a white Australian, obviously. He looks like an Aboriginal. A native Australian, if you will. And they're talking about how This, he's 20-something. How he's so talented and he could be Australia's first Aboriginal A-list actor. Like, why do they have to go there? Who cares what his ethnic background is? Yeah, maybe he's got a unique look that you're not used to seeing on TV or in the movies. And he's done quite a bit of work, actually. He's not a newbie. He's not a noob to the screen. He's been acting since he was a kid. If you look at his IMDb, profile, he's not. But why do they have to go there and say that he doesn't seem to put forth this notion that, oh, yeah, I'm out here representing all Australian Aboriginals, all native Australia. That's not, I haven't seen anything where that's what he's pushing. So this narrative is being pushed by other people around him who see him as being strictly Aboriginal. Think about that for a second. It's the left that constantly tries to separate us on this crap. I don't run around and talk about, black show. I know. My headline is half tongue in cheek, half in jest. I'm the coolest, most politically incorrect conservative black man on the planet. Why? Because it tweaks at the left. Because they're the ones that, if I was just going to run around in Republican circles, I wouldn't have to say black because nobody else would notice. They wouldn't care. All they care about is what I stand for. It's only the left that has to make sure that everybody knows that, well, geez, you're black or Native American or Native Australian, you're Aboriginal, you're this, you're that. You're not white. That's what we got to point it out. Well, everybody can see that you're not white. But nobody really that is a real human being, that is a loving Christian human being, they don't care that you're not white. So all of these, these equivalent Aussie Hollywood publications are pushing this guy as the first Aboriginal A-lister. Well, obviously he's not even a full Aboriginal. He's only half. His mom's American. Now, I don't know what his mom looks like. Maybe she's an American Aussie or I don't know. It's irrelevant. But I mean, this is where these people want to go all the time. So, this is why they cannot, from a culture standpoint, they cannot stand up against what is still traditional, mainstream values for most Americans, because they will lose that war, that fight every time. Because the only way they win the culture war is when they force it down our throats via a liberal judge in a courtroom. Otherwise, they don't tend to win these cultural wars at all. They don't win. They don't win on the street. They don't win in the aisles or annals of cultural opinion or regular opinion. They lose just about every single time. The only place that they win is when they go and they judge shop and they decide to sue somebody or some entity and use this liberal judge to force their ideas down your throat. Because in the regular, court of ideas and ideals, they know they lose. The left does. They just lose. And in order to keep winning, getting these forced ideas shoved down our throats, they have to keep us separated. They have to keep pointing out our divisional, our divides, what divides us, not what unites us. Well, hey, Rod, you're black, so you should think this way. You're Aboriginal, Hunter, so you should think this way, and you should be proud to be the first Aboriginal A-lister. Who cares? Who cares? Well, obviously they do, but does anybody else? No, because all we care about is, can the guy act? Is he a good actor? And if he's a good actor, does he do good movies or do good TV shows? Because otherwise it wouldn't really matter. He could be the greatest actor the world has ever seen. But if nobody likes the stuff that he does, if his TV shows or movies are crap and never make any money, does it really matter that he's Aboriginal? No, it doesn't matter at all. Well, frankly, actually, when you're talking about Hollywood, anyway, how many times have we seen people in Hollywood, blacks in Hollywood, talk about how racist Hollywood is? So for him to say that he wants to conquer the U.S. entertainment market and be an A-lister here, he shouldn't point out the fact that he's Aboriginal, because evidently, the ethnic people with dark skin don't get a lot of parts in movies and TV shows. Well, that's according to the blacks in Hollywood. The Oscar stuff. Remember that a few years ago when Will Smith and family boycotted the Oscars and called it the white Oscars? So obviously, I don't think he'd want to run around because, hey, I'm the Aboriginal actor from Australia whose mom is American, and I want to be the first Aboriginal A-lister. I don't think he wants to point that out, really. If Hollywood is really that obviously with everybody, that. Anyway, LAPD. Speaking of Hollywood. LAPD says and confirms that they are investigating Hollywood pedophile ring after Corey Feldman files a formal report. Now, Feldman announced on Twitter that he formally filed a police report with the LAPD about being molested as a minor. Now, the LAPD will begin an official investigation, and they are heating up. I'm praying for safety, said Feldman. Now, the LAPD confirmed that they were investigating Feldman's claim. So the police department in Los Angeles, California, is now looking into investigating the so-called pedophile ring of Hollywood, California. I don't know where this is going to go. I have no prediction. I mean, because, well, let's face it. Would anybody have predicted, 6 months ago, that all this sexual stuff in Hollywood would go where it has gone now? Would anybody have predicted? This is why you can't predict this stuff with the left. You never know. This kind of stuff, because normally when somebody gets accused of this kind of thing, like Roman Polanski, they circle the wagons and they protect him. But all of a sudden, maybe it was just too many people. Maybe it was the kind of people that were accusing Weinstein of doing certain. Maybe it's because Weiner went to jail for doing some sexual stuff. Anthony Weiner, he reported to jail on Monday. Who knows what could have contributed to this now whirlwind, this tsunami of sexual harassment, sexual abuse claims coming from people. I got people coming out of the woodwork. Yeah, I was sexually harassed or sexually harangued or groped. We got some, B and A-list actors talking about being groped by certain people. And you got an A-list actor like Kevin Spacey who's now ducking out and hiding out because he's being accused of. You got Dustin Hoffman being accused, and A-list actresses like what's her face there? The Devil Wears Prada, saying, "Well, yeah, he was just, Dustin Hoffman was kind of a weird guy." In other words, what she's saying, Dustin Hoffman was a little pervert. That's what I'm reading. Now. Yeah. So, everybody said Dustin Hoffman was just so quiet. He's quiet and shy. It's always the shy ones. It's always the quiet ones, right? Didn't your mother warn you about the quiet ones? Well, in any case, the Manhattan District Attorney is expected to seek a Weinstein indictment as early as next week. The Manhattan District Attorney will seek an indictment against Harvey Weinstein as early as next week, ignoring an NYPD plan to immediately slap the movie mogul in cuffs. What are they going to do? Where is he? Is he in France or someplace? Now, the cops have been building a case against Weinstein, allegedly raping an actress Paz de la Huerta twice. And I don't know how you rape somebody twice. I mean, if you get raped once, you don't hang around. You don't want to be with that guy anymore, right? But twice back in 2010. Again, there are a lot of people who are now coming forward, male and female, which is the really scary part here. Because obviously Hollywood does not discriminate when it comes to sexual harassment and sexual assault. And this is the type of stuff that Hollywood, that the left, the DNC Democrat Party, ponies up to the bar with. Now think about that. They pony up to the bar with these people. People like Weinstein raise a lot of money for the Democrat Party. And what do they get in return? They expect to be able to continue their debauchery and to spread that. And the Democrat Party is quite okay with it. Oh, because, a lot of them are probably engaging in the same damn illicit behavior as the Hollywood moguls and stars. And by the way, speaking of stars, even Mariah Carey, Mimi, is now being accused of sexual harassment. I mean, where is this stuff going to end?
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
I know for most of us out there, most of you out there in the listening audience, you fully understand what the hell is going on. And none of this stuff is distracting. The reason why this stuff is coming to a head is finally because Donald Trump was elected president. Do you folks realize none of this stuff would be coming to light if Hillary Clinton was elected? Weinstein et al. Would still be doing what they're doing out there in Hollywood, under the cover of darkness, the shade and within the shadows, and nobody would have said anything and been any wiser outside of Hollywood. Everybody in Hollywood knows, if you're an A-lister or you've been around the game in Hollywood you know exactly who the players are, who the players aren't, and what side they're playing, what team they play for, you know, what sexual orientation, all that kind of stuff, that's the team they play for. You know all that stuff. Everybody knows. It's an incestuous group of people. None of that stuff would ever come to light. You'd have a few people like Corey Feldman who would say something, and everybody else would jump against them and say, blah, you know, he's just a disgruntled employee or actor or trying to make a comeback, make a name. That's the way it's always been. They've been pushed aside for decades. Then Donald Trump gets elected. The left goes berserko, and they start turning on each other. So that's why this stuff is coming out, and people are starting to see these other people, these sickos, for who they really are. And now that you've got some people who are brave enough to come forward and say, yeah, and they have some power and some prestige, now other people who have power and prestige are coming forward, and you get a plethora, you get this tsunami effect. Because now nobody is safe. If you are a sexual deviant now, I don't care how powerful, how talented, how good look. I mean, Mariah Carey being accused of sexual harassment, she doesn't need to sexually harass any. If she wants to have somebody, all she has to do is just open your arms and say, who's next? I mean, she doesn't have, well, I happen to think Mariah Carey's a beautiful woman. She didn't have to do this kind of stuff, other than the fact it's just all about power. You know, if she's really as bad as people say as she is about being a diva, well, I guess maybe that's why she thinks she can get away with it. But other than that, there are people that don't. Well, people like Harvey Weinstein. Well, he's not a good-looking guy, so he probably had to do stuff like that in order to. Well, you know what I'm saying. Kevin Spacey, he's a different story. You just can't pin these people. You know, they're just sick. And I think Americans are finally starting to get the picture, and they're starting to not support these people. By the way, here's from the New York Times. Here's a piece in the New York Times. After a tough 2016 season, many pollsters haven't changed a thing. You know how much they got wrong in 2016? But they're not going to change the way they do their polls to be more accurate. Do you know how wrong they got the 2016 election? I mean, they were so far off the mark. There was very few, if any, polling done out there that ever showed Donald Trump was actually going to win the 2016 election. And you could see the faces. Everybody was in shock when they started to announce we're predicting Donald Trump as 45th president of the United States, not Hillary Clinton. They were in shock. Some of them actually cried on the air, by the way. I mean, literally, they did. Because they had all convinced themselves with their fake, phony polling that Hillary was going to win. She was going to walk away with it. And New York Times is reporting, this piece is reporting that pollsters don't plan on fixing what was broken. So expect exactly what happened in 2016 to happen in 2018. There's going to be a lot of surprised, shocked, angry, hurt people. Should I say butthurt people? Well, it is Sex Week out in Harvard, Massachusetts. I should say Harvard University, because there is a separate town called Harvard. Can't get the two mixed up. You know, learn. If you want to learn how to do anal sex properly with a butt plug and rubber gloves and an instruction card, go out to Harvard University this week during Sex Week. You can't make any of this stuff up, seriously. And just like you can't make up the fact that we're out of time for the day, but we will be back here tomorrow. So tune in then, folks. Military Tribute Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Rod Eccles. Have a wonderful hump day afternoon. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Oppo file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with